I know people who love a lot of artists.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who go hard for Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, all types of people, right? But Reese loves everybody, but she especially loves Babyface.
I do.
I don't think I've met a bigger Babyface fan, and I love Babyface, but Reese made me fall in love with him. I mean, he's just the best. He's a legend. Incredible. He, as far as singer, songwriter, producer, um, really one of the best who have ever done it. I had the pleasure of interviewing him more than once, and he told an amazing Phyllis Hyman story. It's on my YouTube
Yeah.
page, the whole bit. At these things called the Grammys, Babyface was pushed out of the way
Ah,
for an artist. And I listen, I don't know her music.
yeah, me
Chapel
either.
Roan, I don't know. And so it's no disrespect to her. I don't know her. I don't know her music
I
at
don't know
all.
her.
Not
Yeah.
my. I'm not the demographic. All good. You do what you do. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Um, but they're interviewing the icon, Babyface, the
Yeah.
Associated Press. I don't want to say the reporters' names, but they're interviewing them, and Chapel Rome pops up, and they're basically like, "Get the f out! Come here!" and push Babyface out the way.
Yeah.
And I used to work red carpets back in the day. I
Mm-hmm.
hated doing it. I couldn't stand it, and I never worked for an outlet like the Associated Press. The red carpet is a strange space, and certain people won't talk to you. And I've told red carpet stories before. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
stand doing it. I couldn't stand it rather. But listen to a bit of the clip of Babyface at the Grammys with his time being gracious and being pushed out of the way for an artist named Chapel Roan. Listen to this.
Really at the forefront. Can you talk about just this new trend that we're seeing in R&B where we're seeing more of a fusion? We're seeing people blend the genre with pop, blend the genre with hip hop and rock as well.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Chapel, Chapel.
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.
So the girl that was asking the question later on, they did this apology, and the girl was funny. I couldn't find the clip. I saw it. She was like, there were producers. There was two girls. There was one girl that asked the question, and the other girl asked for Chapel Roan, right?
Yeah.
And so the girl who was asking the question, I don't know what her background is, but she said, yeah, just there was a producer in our ear, and it's unfortunate that I got caught up in this. I was like, you better save face. She was like, now why am I in it? I was the
Right.
one asking the question. Like, don't put me in it. Whatever. Now they've had to turn off their social media.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Babyface is icon.
He
And
is.
he's the best. He deserves the respect that he's entitled to. I mean, Babyface is, of the late great Quincy Jones, of course, but of our era, like he really is, to me, on level of like a Quincy Jones, like one of the greatest producers ever. He is the soundtrack to our lives. But I just had to know, what did you, as somebody who adores Babyface, you go hard, you see him in concert two times a year, more than that sometimes. What were your thoughts on this at the Grammys, out of all places?
I know. I mean, he's won over a dozen Grammys. Like, how dare you? It was just disrespectful. And during Black History Month, like, bitch. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. It was just so disrespectful. And then the question was stupid as fuck too. Like, oh, what do you think about the blended genres? We're talking about blended. That's not anything new. Like he was already being gracious answering that dumbass question. And the reality is, I mean, like I said, I don't know Chapel, whatever. I'm side eyeing her because to me, she's in the presence of Babyface. She should have been like, "Oh my God, Babyface, nice to meet you." I would have like if that was like Alicia Keys, and they were like,
Oh
"Alicia,
yeah.
Alicia would have acknowledged Babyface. Like Babyface is
If
right
that would have
there.
been Kelly Clarkson, but Kelly Clarkson's older, she would have acknowledged her. Yeah,
Yeah. So I got to side
yeah.
at her dumb ass too. Cause like, what the hell? Why are you sitting up there just prancing up like not even acknowledging a legend in front of you? And nobody even what did they even say to Chapel? I never even saw a clip of Chapel. So whatever you was trying to accomplish by getting her up in there, it didn't even hit that way because we only saw you be disrespectful to Babyface. Sometimes you gotta miss a little bit of what you might think is a moment just to do the right thing in that in that time frame. And you got to honor who you're in front of. If you're not going to honor them, then don't even waste their time. Don't even say nothing to them from the jump.
Can I ask and I'm just curious, like maybe this could, I don't know if this was a youth thing or something deeper.
They did look young.
Would they have done that to Willie Nelson? Maybe.
Probably not.
I don't know.
It was racial.
Barbara Streisand?
It was racial. It was definitely.
It felt racial to you? I don't know. I'm just posing. I don't know. Would they have done that to someone and YouTube said Paul McCartney? I don't know.
Or like Harry Styles, or like, I don't know, Beck.
No, I'm thinking legend.
Bono.
I'm thinking like Bono.
No, they wouldn't have done that to a white person. They would not have done that to a white person, period, of any stature.
I'm trying to. Would they done it to Madonna?
No.
I don't. Well, Chappell would have acknowledged Madonna.
It's racial, Clay.
It's racial to you?
It's racial.
Now, I will say, as somebody who, like I said, used to work red carpets, let me tell you something. And you know how I am, Reese. I'm a researcher. You study.
Yeah.
If you know who's going to be on that red carpet, I mean, I never forget, I did a live red carpet for BET. It was for a movie called Black Nativity. It was a 2-hour live red carpet. And there were people, Melanie Griffith popped up with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
This is BET. I knew who they were immediately.
Yeah.
Now, I couldn't name a whole bunch of Melanie Griffith, movies,
yeah.
but I already had questions prepared for people who I may not be familiar. Most folks I knew. It's Black Nativity. Nas was there, T.D. Jakes was there, Jennifer Hudson. Was a great time. But when you're on these red carpets, you got to be prepared. And this is the Associated Press.
Yeah,
this ain't whatever. There was just and I don't know what happened with the young girls, but there is just a downgrade of journalism at large, whether it's entertainment journalism or whether it's political journalism. It's just unfortunate. Now, I don't know if they had a producer in her ear saying, get Chappell. I don't know.
But you got to have training where you can be a little more graceful, because the girl could have dipped out, because one girl had the microphone. But I feel like I saw the girl with the microphone had some body language too that kind of was not really present with Babyface. But I personally would never want to do a red carpet. I'm sorry. I don't like shuffling, all that stuff. Like, where is my seat? I'm going to get there. And that's what
I've said this before, Reese. I used to do red carpets, they would put all the black journalists at the end. And we would call it the colored section.
Yeah.
And countless people would walk right by. I got stories. They'd walk right past us. Always walk past us. Other people who are in our community would walk and not give us any love. But you know who never walked past us? Babyface.
Yeah. I love it.
He would come to the end of that carpet and talk to us. So that was unfortunate. Now, I'm sure he don't care. He's good. He wakes up and blinks his eyes and makes, millions of dollars a day probably. But just put some respect on his name. Know your work. You're at the Grammys. Like, know your history. Come on now. It's not cool.
Some people don't even want to do damn interviews. They just being nice. So, okay, cool. You don't want to talk to me? Bye, bitch. I can keep it moving and get to my seat quicker or whatever. So I'm sure he was. I mean, one thing about Babyface, we know that Babyface is very gracious publicly. Now, he might cut your ass out in public behind bar. I don't know. I don't know any stories about Babyface behind the scenes, but what we know publicly, even with the whole Anita Baker fiasco, he was still very gracious. And I love me some Anita, and I love Anita, and I love Babyface. But Babyface, he don't have too much smoke for people. So no. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think it was really ignorant. I think it was racial, and I thought it was disrespectful. But life goes on. Whatever. He's good.
He's good. Babyface, my God. We're talking about Can We Talk? We talking about Tony Braxton's first album. We talking about Take a Bow. I mean, just the man is brilliant. The man is brilliant.